problem with any stone that I had was that as you use it, you run it back and forth on it like this, it begins to hollow out. So your tool picks up that shape. You know, I started using these on a piece of glass, and I just have to put this in my suitcase, and I can go anywhere and find something flat, car windshield or whatever. You know, for the coarse one, it's a 15 micron, and then for the fine, we're using a 5 micron. It's a lot to ask to learn how to hold this at precisely the same angle that you had on the last time. You know, it's always going to be going back and forth, and then you put a little pressure this side and it goes off there. So don't be self-conscious about using a guide, because guide is going to save you 150 years of experience. Dennis, do you want to just go through the routine of using this jig?
Yeah, okay. Right off the bat, I need to know the width of my blade, and I know it's just around an inch and an eighth. So on here is a scale, and there's a mark on the silver bar there. So this slides back and forth. So I'm going to set it at 1.25 inches, which should, basically what that's doing is centering my blade in the jig, okay? Now, I have it set on number 2, so I know that any angles I want to pick up, I have to be on the yellow marks down here. So this slides back and forth again, and you can set it to whichever one you're looking at. So in this case, I'll pop it into the 25 spot. And what you do now is let it slide down until it just touches. So it's just touching the guide bar here. Now I'm going to tighten clamp screws, undo this one and slide it off. Now I know that that's set for my primary angle for 25 degrees. So when I came over here, I know I'm at 25 degrees because this has a little bar on here and it's pointed upwards. As I rotate it down, that will give me a secondary bevel. So the primary bevel is your very first bevel, and then the secondary bevel, you're just sharpening the very edge of your blade. WD-40?
Yeah.
I spread it out on there, and then you simply anyway, that's the way it works. When you're finished, what you want to do is lay it flat and just work the back of the blade a bit.
So as you work the bevel, once you get it down, there'll be a little burr that starts to come over. So when you flip it over to polish the back, then you're taking off that burr. So you have to go back and forth a couple times. So what I used to see here is this was sharpened here, but then you've touched it a bunch of times, and these corners seem to be dragging. It seems to be coming back about that far. So I would see we put it on here.
Yeah.
So the paper we're using here is the same kind of paper that we used here, only we're using it dry. And I'm going to begin with 100 grit to reshape this. Then I'll start working down, grit to grit down to 6 microns at the end. It's going to give us the chrome polish. Always when you're sharpening on a machine, begin by just giving it a touch and have a look to see where you are. Because this could be unset, this could be off, or it could be grinding in one corner. You want to know that right up front so you can correct it if you need it. So you see the difference in the scratch size. I call it color, but it's really, it looks different because of the size of scratch that's in it. I lightly rub my finger along, not pulling it this way, but just along there. So what I'm feeling for is nothing. If I feel something that's a burr, and I will go back and work that burr off.